For decades, Colombians migrated to oil-rich Venezuela in search of a better life. But this sisterhood came to a sudden end this summer when Venezuela closed its border and began forced deportations. CCTV's Michelle Begue reports.
Yadiri Blanco left Colombia in 2008 to escape the violence in her town tied to the country's decades-old armed conflict. Like many Colombians before her, she fled to neighboring Venezuela, where she was given a home.
Allá empecé una vida muy fuerte, muy fuerte. Me tocó trabajar, estuve 4 meses en los bomberos.
I've had a hard life. I had to live in a refugee center 4 months in Venezuela. They gave me land and I began to work hard to build myself up. I sold coffee. Everything I'm going through today, I already went through in Caracas.
In August of this year, Yadiri relived displacement all over again. This time, forcibly rounded up, put on a truck by Venezuelan authorities and driven back to her native Colombia, separated from her 12-year-old son who was left behind. She lived in one of the 23 temporary shelters put up in the Colombian border city of Cúcuta.
In one day, Venezuela said all Colombians out, and I was kicked out in a moment's notice, when all I've done in my life is work hard. I haven't done anyone any wrong. I don't know anything about contraband. I just lived off of my work.
Tensions between the two countries spiked in August after unknown gunmen shot and wounded 3 Venezuelan border police. The Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro responded by closing down this border and deporting more than 1,000 Colombians. The drastic measure, he said, was necessary to put an end to Colombian smuggling and crime in the region. After the deportations, the United Nations reported another 18,000 Colombians fled Venezuela in fear that they would be mistreated. This refugee and border crisis has yet to be resolved. The closing of the border also ended what was a free flow of migration between the two countries. The mayor of Cúcuta, Dona Maris Ramirez, said that for years Colombians and Venezuelans worked and lived on both sides of the border.
We have never seen our border as a point of separation. Instead, it has been a place that unites us. The border is where integration starts. Only Caracas and Bogotá have seen it as a point of contention.
De desintegración.
Por eso cerré la frontera con Colombia y decreté el estado de excepción.
President Maduro blames Colombian migrants for bringing poverty to Venezuela. 5.5 million Colombians in all, he says, seeking work, education, and health care. Numbers compiled by the Organization of American States show 70% of all Venezuela's migrants do come from Colombia.
After everything you do to build your home, your business, and then be thrown out. I don't have anything against my country, but it isn't easy to come back to Colombia after years of living abroad.
Like many migrants, Yadiri tells us she moved in search of better opportunities. For thousands of Colombians in 2015, migration took them to a place they least expected, their home country. Michelle Begue, CCTV, Cúcuta, Colombia.